Time for maintenance. I have a whopping 2.6 hours on this. And yes, I'm changing the oil. It's probably overkill, you might say, but hey, this is my mower, not yours. Just kidding. So I went out and picked up some oil, and I'll show you that in a minute. I've been reviewing the forums and reviewing, and here in Texas, it was 100 degrees today. If I decided to mow according to the manual, I would need an SAE 40. But since I don't want to order any Royal Purple SAE 40 weight, I'm using the next best thing. Oh yeah, also got some other goodies too. Air filter, which is not needed right now, but it's good to have on hand just in case. And of course, if you're going to change the oil, change the filter. I don't care what anybody says. So changing the oil in here is pretty simple. Kawasaki has this little tube, rubber hose, and on the end of the hose is this threaded little guy. All you take is a 3/4 inch wrench and loosen it up. And then stick this part into an oil drain receptacle, in this case, sponsored by Tidy Cats, just kidding. And then make sure you loosen up your dipstick. Just enough to loosen it up, just to let it breathe just a little bit. And the results are about that much oil. You can see it sloshing around in the bottom. So I must say, only after 2 hours, that oil's pretty black. And it's very thin. So one thing I did do is I waited about 5 minutes for the oil to drain. I unscrewed the filter and put a bunch of paper towels below, and it sure made a mess. You are going to get a nice mess on your hands when you remove this filter, just fair warning. So what I did is after this was all cleaned up, I wiped that very clean, and I put my mouth on there and I gently blew into there. I must say, the oil that came out was at least 2 ounces. So now all the oil's out of the system. Not mandatory, but hey, what the heck, why not? So after you drain everything, make sure to put a small bead of oil right on here, or just a dab on your tip of your finger, and moisten the top of the oil filter before you screw it on. Follow the directions on the filter, and once that's on, add your oil accordingly. It calls for 2.2 quarts if you remove the filter. I'm going to start with 2 and then go from there. While you have the hood off, now's a good time to make sure this is clean and free of debris. And just give the engine and the rest of the unit a once over. Make sure the wires are doing okay. Make sure there's nothing that's snagged. Check your connections. Make sure there's no loose connections. Look for any fuel that's leaking out of the fuel filter here. Make sure these connections look nice and tight and there's no leaks or issues here. You can also inspect the gear for the steering linkage. Make sure that's free of debris, and maybe even give it a little dab of oil. Also check your tire pressure, and if you have several hours, make sure to check your grease fittings as well. And by check your grease fittings, I mean look on the inside where the grease fitting is. It may require a little squirt of grease. Make sure it's clean before you put the fitting on to inject grease inside. Now this air filter still looks good. I loosened up the bottom clamp and I kind of slid the hose further down on the neck, and that made for slightly better fitment on the top when I closed the lid. Snaps nice and tight now. So the deck doesn't look half bad. You can tell I flung some rocks around. I haven't hit any stumps, but interestingly enough, I did come close to the back patio and bent the anti-scalping wheel. I'd rather bend this wheel just a little bit than raise heck with the deck. So as you can see, there's some stuck on grass under here, pretty caked up. I may hit it with a nylon brush just to break some of the debris loose. Well, why don't you use the deck washing port? That'll get rid of this debris. Well, but it might add rust too. I haven't used it, and I don't think I will. That only took about 30 minutes. Not too bad, and only a one-beard job. Thanks guys, take care, and happy mowing.